Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to a weekly CO2 review. Today we're going to be looking at the 19th CO2 report of 2020, and as we always do, we shall start off with looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. Now you may see that in this review we're going to be focusing a lot on energy markets because we've got the Brent Crude on top of a list followed by the WTI crude. And here I can show you the great usage of our special complex COT charts that are available only at COT base because we're the ones putting them together. As I mentioned in my last COT review a week ago, basically here we simply use the US dollar equivalent of the net positions and then combine these to get a complex COT chart. I will show you just in a moment how these look. So basically here we have contradicting COT signals because we have a bearish change signal in the Brent crude and a bullish signal in the WTI. And of course, we do see that these markets correlate significantly with each other. So which one should we take? And in this case, I think our special complex charts can be helpful. So let's start off with the Brent crude and look at that 24% change in commercials positions. You can see that on the chart over there. If you measure that the past 52 weeks and even for your eye, it should be visible that it is amongst the larger changes, definitely much greater than average, suggesting some weakness in the near term in this market. Just let's have a look at the 5-year chart for a moment to see that we have a bullish COT extreme situation here, moving away from those really high, close to all-time extreme levels. So that really means that we should be patient and before jumping into the market and expecting this to rise to its highs. I think it could be advisable to wait for a all-time or close to all-time bullish extreme, which may take maybe a couple more weeks, month, possibly years before we get to those levels. So the WTI crude is here. Here you can see this 22% change, this bullish COT change signal indicating a possible strengthening in the market early next week. If we move on to the 5-year chart, of course, you can see a very different picture here. But still, if you look at compared to its all-time, or at least the 5-year period, we are more or less in between the two extremes. So again, before jumping in either side of the market, we should wait for a more clear and visible COT extreme signal suggesting which direction the change in the trend should be expected. And now to the energy complex market. So basically, as I said in my previous review, these COT charts are made by COTbase.com, where we put together all the markets consisting of energy markets, so natural gas, heating oil as well, and combine the US dollar equivalent of these COT net positions. And then we arrive to these special charts. You can, of course, change the price chart on the top to any market you want to analyze. But basically, this will help you give a wider perspective of what energy traders are doing. So that's that. Let's move on to large speculator COT Extreme. And you can see in the Minneapolis wheat, we have an all-time COT Extreme. We haven't seen an all-time extreme for quite some time now. So it's exciting to see that here. So here we have large speculators, and of course we're not surprised to see commercials being close to their all-time extreme. And we don't need to look back too long to see what happened to the market in the last time we had such a bullish COT extreme. It was a wonderful signal for us, pushing the market higher. We actually haven't gone lower since. So this bullish extreme suggests we may see once again some rise in this wheat market. Swiss franc is the next market with 188 report extreme in large speculators. You can see that extreme over there. It's definitely a bearish COT extreme signal. You may see examples of these bearish extremes, how well they helped us identify tops in the market. Of course, we're not quite seeing any top forming right now, but it definitely suggests that further weakness against the US dollar may be expected in the Swiss franc. And last but not least, let's open natural gas. Again, another energy market. So really this review today is focusing a lot on energy on the energy sector. Here we have natural gas with a 55 report bearish COT Extreme in large speculators and commercials. This, of course, can rise to even greater levels like the one from November of 2018, a beautiful example signaling that top. Of course, we're comparing prices on this 5 years time horizon. We are not seeing any strength in the market, so we may be a little bit surprised to see bearish extremes developing in the market, but that's definitely supporting further weakness in the natural gas market. So caution is advised because, of course, everybody may be expecting inflation coming in. Maybe we should be patient and wait for another year or two before that actually happens in commodities. Of course, exception in case of wheat, where we have that very significant bullish extreme. So I think these are great examples how you can benefit from analyzing the COT reports. COTbase.com offers a bunch of tools to do that. Of course, you can look at new COT report types, other data types, our special options only COT data, again, something very unique at COT Base. I don't think you can find it anywhere else. You can analyze all sorts of data sets. You can do a multiple report change analysis, extreme analysis, going deeper by looking at the COT index, the move index. We have this special long-term trend indicator, wonderful tool for you to really understand in which direction you should be trading. We have the volume and open interest analysis, which of course is not coming from the COT data itself, but we believed by adding this to the system, I think you get a more complex tool set for analyzing the markets. So a lot to do here. Don't forget, if you go back to our homepage, you may find a lot of educational material. For those of you who are new to COT analysis, you can find our tutorial videos. We've got written materials on COT as well. All sorts of important information can be found here. So thank you very much for being with me in this latest COT review. I appreciate your attention, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Goodbye.